The CIA tasks the boys to assassinate Victoria Neumann, but the mission goes awry when they are discovered by her superpowered daughter, Zoe, who attacks the group. Ryan learns that Butcher has approximately 6 months to live due to his usage of V24. At CIA headquarters, Butcher reunites with Joe Kessler, an old friend who attempts to recruit him to take down the Supes. Homelander, obsessed with his aging and fed up with his sycophant group, recruits Sister Sage, known for being the smartest person on the planet, to join the Seven. He and Sage have 3 supporters, beaten to death by the Deep and Black Noir. Sage instigates a riot outside the courthouse when Homelander is found not guilty. A-Train dumps the corpses of Homelander's supporters into the riot, ensuring the Starlighters are blamed. Butcher arranges a meeting with Neumann for the Red River Files, but changes his mind at the last second after having a hallucination of his deceased wife, Becca. Huey learns his father has suffered a stroke and reunites with his mother. Butcher tells the boys his remaining time to live and is kicked out. However, Butcher tracks them and helps them to spy on Sage, who is recruiting alt-right Supe firecracker at TruthCon. Butcher and MM fight, causing the former to leave. Their plan is thwarted when Sage, Firecracker, and Splinter intervene. Sage leaves, and a fight ensues. Butcher returns and kills Splinter, and Firecracker flees in the aftermath. Guilty over his actions, A-Train gives Huey and Annie files exonerating the Starlighters accused of murder. Homelander and Sage organize Ryan's first public mission, a scripted rescue. The mission ends awfully when Homelander appears off-script and shocks Ryan into killing the stuntman, disguised as the criminal. Butcher opens up to MM in an attempt to rejoin the boys, to no avail. Homelander introduces Sage and Firecracker as new members of the Seven and appoints Sage as the new CEO, replacing Ashley. Butcher meets with Kessler, and they devise a plan to kidnap Ryan. The former arranges a meeting with Ryan with the intent of drugging him, but they instead spend time bonding together. MM recruits A-Train as a spy, who reluctantly accepts. Annie confronts Firecracker, who reveals that she holds a grudge against her because of a rumor she spread that ruined her career. Huey and MM infiltrate a meeting between Homelander, Neumann, and Sage to assassinate soon-to-be President Robert Singer, which goes awry when Homelander detects and attempts to kill Huey. A-Train rescues him. Huey's mother, Daphne, reveals that depression and a suicide attempt led to her departure. Ryan returns home, only to be confronted by Homelander for visiting Butcher, which results in Homelander having a mental breakdown. Homelander returns to the Vought lab where he was raised and experimented upon, tormenting the employees before its director, Barbara, intervenes. Daphne's plan to take Hugh Sr. off life support angers Huey. Annie meets with Singer to strike a deal to take down Vought. Huey and Kimiko secure Compound V from A-Train for Huey's father. MM and Butcher fail to blackmail Firecracker, who publicly discredits Annie by revealing her decision to have an abortion months prior, leading to a brutal fight that damages Annie's reputation and ends her alliance with Singer. Frenchie is attacked by Ezekiel while investigating Firecracker. Butcher intervenes only to be choked unconscious. He awakes to find Ezekiel torn to pieces. Huey witnesses his father waking up from his coma after receiving Compound V. A blood-soaked Homelander leaves Barbara locked in his former observation room with the dismembered corpses of her colleagues. After Hugh Sr. wakes from his coma, Daphne reveals she administered the V. Butcher informs the boys about a virus that kills Supes acquired by Neumann. He and MM visit Stan Edgar in prison, seeking help to obtain the virus in exchange for amnesty. The boys and Edgar discover V and the virus being tested on animals at a farmhouse, where Neumann arrives as well. After being attacked by the mutated farm animals, they locate Dr. Samir Shah, who has the last remaining sample of the virus. but are forced to use it to kill a herd of mutated sheep. Afterward, Samir goes missing and is presumed dead. Returns Edgar to prison, but Newman frees him. Empowered and mentally confused, Hugh Sr. kills patients at the hospital but soon returns to his sense. Huey ends his life peacefully. Homelander declares the Seven will now be wrathful gods for the greater good. In the presence of Tech Knight, Kate Dunlap, and Sam Reardon, VNN anchor Cameron Coleman is framed as the leak by Ashley and killed by the Seven. Butcher reveals to Kessler that Samir is alive and he has kidnapped him to replicate the virus. The boys learn that Tech Knight is hosting a party at his mansion, with Newman and the Seven in attendance. They infiltrate the party by disguising Huey as the Soup Web Weaver. When Tech Knight discovers Huey's identity and attempts to torture him, they enter the mansion to rescue Huey. Shoots Sage in the head right before he has a panic attack. A-Train saves rushing him to the hospital, and Sage survives. Annie and Kimiko save Huey and restrain Tech Knight. The three antagonize Tech Knight until he reveals that Homelander and Sage plan to use his prisons as internment camps before he is killed by his butler Elijah. Homelander and Newman convince the senators to rally against Singer. Firecracker tells Homelander about her encounter with Annie, realizing that the leak is still alive. Meanwhile, Butcher forces Samir to replicate and make the virus strong enough to kill Homelander. When Samir reveals that a virus that strong would likely mutate and destroy every soup on Earth, Butcher is pressured by Kessler to continue. When Kessler abruptly lashes out at Butcher's hallucination of Becca, Butcher remembers that Kessler is also long dead, and the hallucinations are playing out the internal conflict of his V-tumored brain. Butcher bails Frenchie out of jail to assist Samir with the virus. Gives up leadership of the boys, passes the baton back to Butcher again. The boys discover a plan to assassinate Singer that will be carried out by an unidentified soup shapeshifter. Homelander kills Webweaver, believing he is the leak. Huey goes to Noman's house to convince her to stop everything, to no avail. Homelander sends the Deep and Black Noir to kill the boys, starting a fight with Butcher and Annie, who are saved by A-Train and Infuriated, Homelander fires Sage from the Seven for hiding A-Train, who has fled the country with his family, as the leak. Samir injects Kimiko with the dose of the virus he has prepared and escapes. Frenchie saws off her leg so the virus does not spread. Butcher passes out in a bar, and Annie wakes up to find herself shackled in a room somewhere, realizing that she has been impersonated and replaced by the shapeshifter. While Butcher recovers, Mallory and Ryan visit him, where the latter is told of Homelander's crimes and that he must kill him. Ryan refuses, accidentally kills Mallory, and leaves. Butcher embraces his dark side of Kessler. Homelander tasks the remaining Seven with killing everyone at Vought who has incriminating evidence against them. A targeted Ashley injects herself with V, while Frenchie develops the virus. The boys monitor Singer in a bunker, where they discover the shapeshifter Annie, and a fight ensues. The real Annie arrives and kills the shapeshifter. When Homelander reveals that Newman is a soup on air live, she calls on Huey to protect her and Zoe in exchange for help. When the boys and Newman meet, Butcher arrives, kills Newman with his new superpowers, and steals the virus. Sage reveals to Homelander that his plan has been a success when Singer is arrested for conspiring with the boys to kill Newman. Speaker of the House, Stephen Calhoun becomes the new President of the United States, swears allegiance to Homelander, and declares martial law, deputizing Homelander and his army of superhumans. The rest of the boys are ambushed and captured, but Annie manages to escape. Butcher drives off with the virus. In the mid-credits scene, Calhoun shows Homelander where Soldier Boy is being confined.